Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of NNPA and Black Press USA's program Fireside Chat. Can you believe it is December? We are just weeks away from the celebration of Christmas, and I figured it would be really nice to have us start off our first show of December really sharing the joy of the holiday season. And I figured we'd have a musical performance. Actually, this will be my first musical performance for the holidays. The special guest is 12-year-old harpist Sarah Ramson. Let's bring her on. Hi,
Hello.
Sarah.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Wonderful. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
So you were just playing on the harp. That is twice your body size. Look at that thing. Oh my goodness, Sarah, how long have you been playing the harp?
I have been playing the harp since I was 6 years old.
6 years old? Do they make smaller versions of the harp?
Yes, but instead of pedals, they have levers that you use.
So what, I mean, come on, Sarah, people do flutes and pianos and violin, which I heard, by the way, you play some other instruments. We'll talk about that. But what made you fall in love with the harp?
I was actually watching a TV show, Sophia the First, and I saw her sister playing the harp, and I told my parents I want to play the harp. So that's how it started.
And it went from there.
Yes.
Okay, so Sarah, I want you to take a few minutes now and play a song for us, and then we're going to come back and talk a little bit more to you and your parents.
Okay. Now I'm going to be playing Silent Night.
I could hear I literally could hear the words of the song. Is that normally, like, does that tell you, is that when you know that you're a good harpist, when you could actually, I could hear the chorus, the song. That was beautiful.
Thank you.
So Sarah, I have seen harpists before, but it seems like you play, depending on where you play on the actual string, it'll make a certain note or sound. Is that correct?
Well, no. So when you play a certain string, yes, you do get a particular note. But the pedals on the harp, which are at the bottom of the harp,
Oh,
they produce, when you move them up and down, they produce different notes on the same string.
so it doesn't matter where you are on that. It actually matters what you do at the bottom with the pedal.
Yes.
Wow. So Sarah, how do you learn to do something like that? Because now I'm finding out, in addition to your fingers moving and you holding up that heavy, I realize there's something that's helping it lay there. But in addition to having that huge harp there, you're doing something with your feet and your hands?
Well, it's you have I have an amazing teacher, so that helps. And I had an amazing teacher who gave me a lot of great foundations before I moved to my new team. But in reality, some songs they have pedal changes which make it difficult.
Mm-hmm.
But in some songs, in simpler songs, you do not have to move the pedals, which makes the song even simpler. You just have to worry about moving your fingers correctly.
So how long did it take you? Age 6, you started learning how to play the harp. How long did it take for you to actually play a song on your own?
Well, I'm not exactly sure, but I know it took a lot of practice.
How much practice do you say that you do weekly or daily?
I do about an hour on the harp.
Okay. Sarah, what do you want to do? What do you want to do when you get older?
When I grow up, I would like to be a Supreme Court judge.
I love that, Sarah. That is great. You were already ready for that question, huh? People must
Yes,
ask you all the time.
yes.
So playing the harp, what has that exposed you to? Where have you been because you've been able to play the harp?
I have performed for people like Eleanor Holmes Norton, the Congresswoman, Eleanor
Yes.
Holmes Norton, and a lot of other amazing people like Congresswoman Barbara Lee, and a lot of really influential people that has really just inspired me to keep playing because it's so amazing performing for so many different people.
Oh my goodness. And in fact, speaking of performing, you had a performance last month, a fundraiser, am I correct? At the Potter Violin Mansion in Tacoma Park. How'd that go?
That actually went amazing. We raised a lot of funds, but we're still working towards our goal, so any donations are very much appreciated.
So
And
tell us what the goals are. So for people who aren't familiar with you, you had a fundraiser last month. I was not able to attend because I wasn't in town then, but tell us about what the fundraiser is for and that you're still accepting donations.
the fundraiser is to buy a new harp because although this harp looks very big, it's actually a smaller version of what is the main goal. So this is a petite pedal harp,
What?
and yes, it actually is. And so my next size harp, which is ultimately the last size, I have 7 more strings, which allows me to play more songs.
Okay.
And that really helps out a lot because there's some songs that I'm able to play,
Mhm.
but I'm not able to play because I don't have enough strings.
So how big is that? Because I see your little tiny body at the end of it. It looks pretty huge. And you said
Well,
that's a little one, right?
this is a smaller version. This harp is about maybe a little bit over 5 feet tall.
Okay. And it looks like it weighs a lot.
It does.
Well, it's absolutely gorgeous. So, well, listen, I told everyone that was tuning in. I mean, if you're just tuning in now to NNPA and Black Press USA, I'm your host, Taylor Thomas, and it is December. It's the season of love and, of course, celebration. And I decided that this month we would start off with our first show being a performance. Oh, wow, we've got a message. She is awesome. Move over, Jeff Majors. That's from Miss Windley. Oh, wow. Jeff Majors. I know he's listening to that. Marvin Robinson, congratulations. Well, see, Sarah, they're pouring all in. So we are welcoming anyone to share comments and wishes with you. We're going to talk to your parents in a little bit, but I told them we're going to have a holiday musical performance. So, Sarah, I'm going to turn the show over to you now. Let's play a couple of songs to get everybody in the spirit of love and Christmas.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to be playing I Wonder as I Wander.
Wow. Okay. And what was the name of that song again?
I Wonder as I Wander.
I wonder as I wander. Okay, so we're going to jump in just a few minutes to talk to your parents. I'm going to let you play two more songs, and then we want to talk to mom and dad.
Okay. The next song I'm going to be playing is Deck the Hall.
Ah. That was beautiful. So, Sarah, I know that you have a large array of songs, but I also heard that you play some other instruments. It or the violin, or maybe it's just one.
I play the piano, the harp, the flute, the steel pan from the Caribbean, the tenor steel pan actually, and I play a little bit of guitar and a little bit of ukulele as well.
What? You play the ukulele?
Yeah.
What? Okay, honestly, where did you learn to do that?
Well, I started off with piano, and I kind of taught myself the ukulele. I just looked it up on YouTube.
You can find everything on YouTube. So I know that mom and dad are there with you. So I'm wondering if I can have them come into the hello. We have Robin and Rob Ramson. They are the parents behind this musical little gifted young lady, age 12. So, Mom, we need to see you. There we go. I know it's blocking the heart, but we promise that we'll bring that back in. So, Mom and Dad, when did you know that she had the gift to play instrument? I mean, I didn't realize she played that many instruments. So, which one of you recognized it first?
I think we just kind of started giving her lessons on the keyboard, and so we didn't really know that she uh, was interested in music. But it was just part of her curriculum, and so just before 3, we started teaching her. We had a friend who worked for us started to teach her on the keyboard, and she picked it up pretty quickly.
And when she was a little headed towards 4 years old, we couldn't find a piano teacher. 3, we couldn't find a piano teacher. And we finally convinced someone that she would be a good student. And once we started piano lessons, the teacher realized she had perfect pitch.
Wow.
And I think that was the beginning of everything. Because we started really respecting what Sarah had to give to the lesson. When we really started listening to things, because Sarah would play something and she would say, what are the notes between the notes? So she would have like a regular piano lesson, C, 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 D, 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 but she would ask, what are the notes in between the notes? And so she was hearing something that we don't normally hear. And her teacher says it was because of her perfect pitch. She's tuned into a lot more audio vibes than the normal ear.
Wow. So, Mom or Dad, are any of you guys musically inclined?
No.
Both of you shook your head.
So I think Robin actually probably was, because she puts a lot of time and effort in, and it's effortless to her. And for someone who doesn't know music and doesn't read or write music or play an instrument, it's amazing the type of work and effort that she puts in and works with Sarah without knowing music. So if you ask Robin to read a sheet of music, she can't. And if you ask her to play, she can't.
Maybe it's
But
in my other life.
she does practice with Sarah and she knows when Sarah is not on beat, off beat, when she's not playing it right, when what she needs to do. And so I believe somewhere in Robin's gene code, it was probably in her. She just never got the opportunity to as a young child.
So, as proud parents as you should be of your 12-year-old really gifted musical artist back there, where do you draw the line between it's my child really loving to do something and a little bit of, I'm so proud she can do this and she can do that? So, how does that work? And I say that to parents who want the best, obviously, for their child and they see a talent in them, but you want to make sure that they're driving the effort more so than mom and dad.
Well, I have maybe a not so popular approach to education. I really believe that children may have this talent, but they can't see the value of this talent. And so it's your responsibility as a parent to drive it, because we don't want them. They get distracted so easy. They get exhausted so easy. And you don't want them to become adults and say, I wish I had pushed forward. I wish I could keep going. Because if they get to 18 and you've driven the thing and you've pushed the thing and you push the cart up the hill, and then, you know, they go to college and they decide they don't want to do it, then they still have the skill. But I think as a parent, I have an obligation, responsibility to keep pushing it, because the harp was her idea. It was something on the inside of her that I did not create. And so once she decided she was going to play the harp, and she was very interested in it when we first started with the smaller harp, it's my responsibility and obligation, whether she gets tired or not, to push that thing to make her the best that she can possibly be. And when she goes to law school, she still has the skill. She doesn't have, you know what I mean? She doesn't have to be a professional harpist.
So there's a second side to that, right? And so first of all, music is part of her curriculum. It should be part of every kid's curriculum because it's a universal language, right? And so all universal languages should be taught. Strategy is one of them, music's one of them, math is the other. So most kids or most parents will push kids on math or a foreign language. Well, music is no different, right? And so it's very important to understand that really Sarah doesn't have a choice because this is part of her curriculum. It's kind of like she doesn't have a choice about reading. She doesn't have a choice about math, right? She doesn't have a choice about chess. It just so happens that if you make it fun and reward it like anything else, they enjoy it, right? So, and I also think that once a child gets confident or feel accomplished or get to be comfortable doing something, it changes the world for them because they're no longer struggling to play. They can actually hear and see success. So that's the other aspect of it. And at the same time, I think most people approach the music or giving choices to children when really it's not a choice about learning, right? And education. It's just what you choose to teach your child. We happen to choose music as part of her curriculum.
So she started off with the harp at age 4. So when did the
piano?
Yeah. So she started off with piano.
Okay, so piano at 4, and then can we go down the ages for each instrument? Started piano at 4. What was?
Well, she started piano. She started keyboard just before 3.
Okay.
She got on the piano right around 3 at Miss Daniels. At the same time, we started math at the Kumon Center. But then at 4, we were at a school in the neighborhood, and we were at a chess class. And right outside the chess class, or across the hall, there was a music room. And I looked in, and it happened to have a bunch of steel pans in there. And being from Guyana, that was a big interest to me. So I walked in, introduced myself to the teacher, Mr. Francis, and he was from Trinidad. And I said to him, would you consider teaching my daughter steel pan? And he looks at her, and she's probably 45 pounds at the time, if that, and maybe about little less or less than 4 feet. And so he says, well, when she grows a little and gets a little older. I said, but she plays the keyboard. And I said, Sarah, bring that milk carton over there, or milk box over there. And so she went over and brought the plastic milk crate. And so we flipped it over, and I said, stand on here. And I said, Sarah, look at those notes on there and play something. And she looked at the notes that's written, the letters.
Yes.
So the steel pans have letters written on all the notes. And she just played a song. And he looked at her and he was like, And then after that, he said, well, I guess we can always put her on the milk crate. And that's where she started.
Wow. I'm just blown away. And I love hearing the joy and how proud you guys are of your 12-year-old amazing artist back there. I can't imagine when she is a Supreme Court judge like she wants to be able to have the experience. But I think there's something I omitted, and I want to make sure I don't leave that out, because people are like, okay, what school does she go to? Well, she's homeschooled. Let's talk about that. That's a lot of work, Mom and Dad.
Yeah. I think we just split it up. She's a good student. She's a good learner, and it's just been part of our lifestyle. So it's not really difficult to us. It's just time consuming. And so I think most parents, uh, given the opportunity and given the time, would probably love to teach their kid. Um, and and we took that on as a challenge, and we took that and loved doing it.
But you know, the most important thing about homeschool is that you can control your time and you can teach subjects that are more important to you, and children can spend as much time as possible learning. So if you're on math, you don't have to finish your math lesson in 45 minutes. You can continue to work through the problem as long as it takes that day. Or you can go, go on as many field trips as you would like to go on. Or if you're an avid, ferocious reader, you can spend days just reading and finishing a book.
So it incorporates a Montessori approach, homeschool approach. So if she's in the mood for music that day, maybe her music lesson will be a little longer. If she's in the mood for foreign language that day, she'll do that. Or if she's in the mood to play chess that day, so it all depends on what she's in the mood for. Of course, there's a
Standard.
set schedule, but we kind of move around to what kind of fits that day. And then some days we're just on the golf
What
course.
made you guys decide to start to have her in a homeschool environment? And this is before, obviously, the pandemic. So why?
Because we had some values, and we had not values, we had some priorities that we wanted to put forward, especially music. And there's no way that you could attend a regular school and develop the music skills that Sarah had. And once we knew that she had perfect pitch and she had obviously talent beyond a normal child, we really had an obligation to push that. Because, if your child is headed towards the Olympics skiing, you're not going to monopolize your child's schedule with a regular school schedule. They're going to do special education, with tutors or homeschool, and then they're going to practice skiing, the rest of the day. So we took that approach early on with Sarah, that we knew she had some special talents to develop. Music was going to, when she was little, we used to practice music 2 hours a day. I'm going to be real honest with you.
Wow.
We spent a lot of time in foundational work, studying music theory, going to deeper levels of developing her music practice. She's an excellent sight reader. I think that's why she's been able to transpose her music skills from harp, steel pan to flute, because we spent a lot of time in foundational music theory.
But at the same time, Sarah's also did a lot of field trips, whereas in a regular school, you probably go maybe once every 3 months if you go to a field trip. Sarah's been to most museums, plays. I mean, she's always been up and about, and so she's had a pretty well balanced schedule. So even though Robin's saying, "Oh, we put in 2 hours of music," she probably had a lot more fun than she does schoolwork. And so,
Yes.
So does
and
she
it's
get to
tough.
interact with other kids? How does that work with her being homeschool and with the practicing the instruments specifically?
So a lot of homeschoolers have like cooperatives and pods, and
Mhm.
through those cooperatives and those pods, that's where you get your field trips. A lot of going to the farm. We used to be part of an American Girl doll history club, and we had a homeschool group called we still do a homeschool group called Sankofa Homeschool Group, and most homeschoolers connect somehow with little pods or little homeschool, at least in this region.
And I have a lot of friends who have kids, and so I've always made sure that she had time to develop relationships with them. So we spent a lot of time also burning the candle at the other end on activities with them.
There
And
seems
she
to be more
plays
and more.
golf.
Say it
She
again.
plays she plays junior golf, so she
Oh
has a
my.
lot of friends through golf.
Yeah, she's actually an amazing golfer.
Well, I can't even cannot even fathom her trajectory with all of these great things happening. And she's just 12 years old. But one of the things I wanted to ask you, so with having this homeschooling, do you see a lot of other African American families? I know that the interest has been picking up quite a bit over the last couple of years. So are you finding that here in the DMV or no?
I am starting to see a lot more people, Black people, homeschool. But
Okay.
the thing is, it's a commitment, not really like a commitment in terms of working inside the home, but every developing your child's learning skills, and going into deeper levels of education is kind of intimidating to most people.
Sure.
And so you have to find a lot of patience within yourself. Parents, they have good intentions to homeschool, but then they realize we can't get all the subjects done in one day and maintain a household. We can't, do all these field trips and continue to do math and reading and science and every day. So they have to develop their own pace, and I think a lot of people get discouraged and end up going back to school.
So, but
And,
at the
and
same
Robin
time,
and Robin and Rob, how honestly, truly, please tell me, how do you do that? Because it is a 24-hour. I mean, you just talked. I mean, do you work? Do you do part-time? How does that work with both of you?
Well, I work part-time, but when Sarah was little, I stayed home and Robert worked full-time. We used to have a bed and breakfast inn and a restaurant and a nursing home.
so
And so
we had a few businesses, and so I spent a lot of time managing them and running them. And Robin kind of came in when we needed her to, and because Sarah was homeschooled, she could take her with her wherever she was going. A lot of times, actually, because we had the bed and breakfast, we actually had three of them, and she would go and do the grocery shopping, and she would take Sarah, and I would send someone with her who would be able to load and unload, but she'd be able to go and get everything else and manage making sure that everything was delivered and the money was straight.
But you really just have to pace yourself and sometimes incorporate the children into your workday. And everything's not going to get done every day. So you have to be patient with yourself.
But I think the pandemic really helped people realize that they could work from home and get just as much or more accomplished, save time and energy, still get some work done around the house, but also manage their kids and be responsible for their education. And a lot of people have that capability. Some people don't. But in all honesty, when you see your child accomplishing more, if that's what they did, it motivates you as a parent who now works from home, and uh, and your whole world has shifted to a home environment, and you see that it can be done. Now, once you've done it for a year, it's not so bad. And so I think some people who are capable of doing it or who are comfortable with doing it uh, will take it on.
So let me ask you, do either one of you guys have a teaching background?
Uh, no,
No.
I just work. I love kids. I think a long time ago I used to work and coach golf with your daughter uh, at Langston, and I've always loved kids and worked with kids. But I think it's just about being a parent.
Yeah, we're college graduates. If you can't teach first through sixth grade after graduating from college, yeah.
Right. So
It's just keep it simple.
I think it's just about your patience level and what you're able to tolerate as a parent, right?
Now,
And
what do you have to submit to the state so when she graduates or goes to the next grade?
Well, Washington, D.C., you just have to submit a form every year that you are taking on the responsibility of your child's education. And then you have to choose when they get to 11th or 12th grade, whether you're creating is a portfolio, every year, because you have to decide when your child gets to 11th or 12th grade, do you want to get a GED? Do you want to take a high school equivalency test? So there's a lot of options. And so sometimes people enroll their child into high school the last year. You know, sometimes they take a high school equivalency test, and now with the SAT regulations, not so many universities look at SAT scores. I think people are doing more to build portfolios and profiles for their students, for their children, to show the university.
And I think in other states, you actually have a checklist that you have to report, and there's some accountability there that you have to go through. That's a mandatory process. It's
Well,
just
I just have to tell you, I commend both of you guys because as a parent myself, it always, just like you guys said, it sounds good to saying, I'm going to take care of it, but that is a lot of work. And I commend you because clearly your child is excelling. And so I promise people, I'm looking down at my phone. They're like, okay, did I miss her perform? No, we're going to have her perform right now. So Sarah, we're going to turn back the camera to our 12-year-old musical child prodigy. She is Sarah Marie Ramson. So Sarah, I want you to think of 3 songs and I'm going to bring you full screen and you're going to play each song back to back. So tell us the 3 songs that you're going to play and then we're going to turn it over to you.
Okay. So I'm going to be playing Minstrel's Adieu and My Favorite Things and We Three Kings.
Okay, great. Yes, 12-year-old child prodigy Sarah Marie Ransom. I am really excited. You know, we're watching you play that huge harp, but you said this is actually not the size that you need. This is not even the big one. And that is why you had a fundraiser last month. Can we talk about the fundraiser? What's the dollar amount that you're trying to raise and why?
So we are trying to raise about $12,000, and we are getting close to our goal, but of course donations are very much appreciated. And I just I'm just really excited to get the harp, because it's really a goal I've been working towards for a long time, and to finally see it happen is just wow.
Sarah, you're homeschooled. So is there anything that you miss per se when you, because your dad says he has you interacting with friends and family and friends. So do you feel a little different sometimes, or are they amazed by the fact that you play so many instruments and that you're homeschooled?
I think they're amazed by the fact that I'm homeschooled, but when I talk to my friends, we don't really usually get on the topic of other things that I do, but we just act normal, like kids.
So what do 12-year-old girls who play the violin, piano, steel drums, flute, and harp do?
Well, I actually do not play the violin, but I've been thinking about it recently, so.
Okay, so where did I get the violin from? I'm sorry. I don't know why I had the violin down. I'm sorry. Okay.
Well, I'm not sure, but maybe the harp. Maybe the harp and the violin maybe correlated.
So what do you do for fun?
Well, I dance, I do ballet. I'm actually on point, and I like to draw, and I like to be outside and do gymnastics and do contortion. And yeah, I like to do a lot of those things. And of course, make some TikToks, like kind of
Oh, so
be into
you do
trends.
that. Okay. I don't know how you have enough time in the day to do all this. You're pretty amazing.
Thank you. I get my fair balance.
Well, that is really great. So are you planning on doing your junior or senior year in high school, or you're going to take this all the way through?
I'm not really sure yet, but for now, I think I'm gonna take homeschool all the way through.
And so now you want to be a Supreme Court judge. So have you had an opportunity to talk to a judge, to go into a courtroom, to experience anything that you may do with that being your aspirations for career?
I've actually interviewed a judge for a podcast, and that was really interesting because I got to learn about how a judge thinks, works, what they do, the decisions they have to make, and
What is it about the career of being a judge makes you want to do that?
because I feel like if I'm a Supreme Court judge, I'll be in the position to really make a lot of laws fair to other people.
Wow. So does that mean you
Make the world
watch
a
the
better
news?
place.
Are you a news watcher at age 12?
Not really.
Well, I know that your mom and dad are there with you. Rob and Robin, your daughter had a fundraiser. We mentioned it early at the Potter Violin Mansion in Tacoma Park. Your daughter just said that your goal is to raise $12,000 so you guys can buy the larger one, which will be her final harp. Where are you now, and how can people support this should they want to?
We're actually 3/4 of the way there. We're about $8,000,
Okay.
which was phenomenal what she was able to raise. And so Sarah can be supported at I am Sarah Marie, SARAHMARI .com. And so there's a link there to donate and also to follow her. So she has a Instagram handle that you can follow on and connect. But donations are right there on her website. Donate
The
button.
total cost of the harp is $21,000, and we're going to be trading the current harp in,
Okay.
and she's going to get 11,500 for the current harp, and then we're trying to raise the money for the rest of
And
it.
then, right.
Who knew that a harp could cost you $21,000? That's a really expensive little trade there that you or interest that you have, musical interest. Wow.
And
I
it's just a standard harp. The next harp, I mean, it has 47 strings. It's a
Okay.
concert. It's concert worthy,
Oh.
but
Well, they're a lot more expensive harps.
right.
Very,
Right.
very expensive.
she even knows that. Sarah's like very, very. So, I look down sometimes because people are texting me. And so someone wanted to know, where did you go to find somebody to teach her how to play the harp? It's not commonplace, right?
Yes, you do have to search. We scoured the internet and we found a wonderful, her first teacher, who was wonderful, Elizabeth Blakesley in Virginia. But basically, and then her current harp teacher is this amazing woman who is the harp director at the Cicely Tyson School of Performing Arts. And
Oh,
we used to
wow.
drive up there once a month. But her name is Robin Gordon Cartier. And after the pandemic, we started virtual lessons online, and it's worked out really great. But yeah, harp teachers are difficult to find.
And she's an amazing, very supportive teacher.
Yes, Miss Cartier.
Yeah, she's an amazing teacher.
So what does, and again, this is relative, but on average, what does a harp teacher cost to teach a child to play the instrument?
So when we first started out with Ms. Blakesley, it was $82 or $83 a month.
$83 a lesson.
I'm sorry, a lesson. Right. And so it's not cheap.
Wow.
And
I just think it's just so intriguing and so interesting. And I have to commend you both as parents. I love when we have our children and we don't put them in a box of only playing certain instruments or certain sports or only thinking of certain careers. Everything's on the table. And I love hearing that. And your daughter was very clear in expressing what she wants to do and become. And we know with her dedication to music and commitment to music, I'm quite sure that she will be a Supreme Court judge. No question whatsoever. No question whatsoever. Again, I want you to give out information if someone wants to be able to support your daughter. Again, you're getting 11,500, I believe, for the current harp you have now, and the one that you want is 21. So you're about $8,000. And you had a performance last month, and actually you have another one coming up, right?
Yes, Sarah has a Christmas performance for the community at the Potter's Mansion. It's 7711 Tacoma Eastern Avenue, and it's actually a free concert. And you can find it on Eventbrite. But if you go to Sarah's website, you can find how to reserve your seats for the concert.
And Mom,
I am SarahMarie.com.
So it's
Sarah
I
with
am
H.
SARAHMARI.com.
Now, Mom, you put me to shame before we actually went live. I saw the lights behind the harps and I was like, oh, that's beautiful. And then I noticed it was the Christmas tree. You wasted no time. I have got to get on my game.
Thank you.
I love that. And I thought I was really ornate with that. That is a gorgeous tree. Absolutely.
Thank you.
I may have to call you for your services. Well, listen, we have a few more minutes before we conclude the program. And as I promised, because people are like, I want to hear more. I want to hear more. So you know how to follow Sarah. You know how to support her. Mom and Dad, I have to thank you for talking to me and giving me some information on how you support your young child prodigy, musical prodigy. So Sarah, I'm going to turn it over to you. You can play like 3 or 4 songs. I'm going to let you turn it away, and then we're going to come back and close out.
All right.
So I'm going to be playing Carol of the Bells and Silver Bells and Silver Bells and Carol of the Bells and Tango, which is from a suite of 8 dances by Carlos Salcedo.
is so beautiful. Sarah, you are amazing. Amazing 12-year-old musical child prodigy. Her name is Sarah Marie Ramson. And we really want to thank you. You have really made this a wonderful start to our December month with the program here at NNPA and Black Press USA. Mom and Dad, you did such a wonderful job. I can't thank you enough for making this happen. I really appreciate this. And I want to follow up. I want to find out when you get that harp, because I know that people are going to support your dreams and aspirations to get the larger harp. I can't wait to see. I can't imagine you sitting next to a larger harp. So, Sarah, before we close out, is there anything that you would like to say?
Thank you to everyone that tuned in. Thank you, Miss Thomas, for inviting me. I had such a great time, and this was a great opportunity. And happy holidays.
I'm gonna take you home. I need another daughter. I'm gonna take you home. So Sarah, we wanted to make sure, because people wanted to know, your performance is at the Potter's Violin Mansion, and that's in Tacoma Park, Maryland, correct?
Yes,
Great. And they can go where to find out more information should they want to support you?
I am SarahMari.com.
Sarah, thank you so much. Mom and Dad, thank you so very much. Next week, you guys, we have a history-making guest. She is the first African-American woman to do a live announcement, the live announcement for the Tony Awards. That's right. It's Keisha Monk, first right here on NNPA and Black Press USA. Again, happy holidays, and thank you, Sarah and Mom and Dad. Until next week, God bless and goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
you.